Welcome back, everybody. Coach Littlesee here. And today I'm talking about the one conversation in youth sports that nobody wants to have, but everybody has. And that word, playing time. If you're a parent, you've probably said, my kid should be playing more. Sound familiar? If you're an athlete, you probably thought, coach doesn't like me. If you're a coach, you've definitely had that parking lot conversation after a game. So today I'm going to talk honestly about expectations versus reality when it comes to playing time. And first, I want to talk about the coach perspective. And let me start with something parents don't always see. First, coaches just don't evaluate games. We evaluate practice throughout the week. We see who shows up early, who listens, who hustles when nobody's watching, who lifts their teammates up, and who shuts down when things don't go their way. Games are just a final exam, and practice is where playing time is earned. All the time I hear and I see across social media, I always see, well, this coach, there's so many kids on a team. Why is this coach in basketball only play 8? Or how come in baseball there's 15 guys on a team, coach plays the same 9 guys and may rotate in a couple different pitchers? You hear that a lot all the time. Coaches evaluate a lot of these things throughout the course of the week. I always like to tell my parents, why don't you come watch a practice and watch and see what your kid does throughout practice, or how many times the parent dropped their kid off at practice, and sometimes the kid don't even go to practice. Practice is where playing time is earned. Talent matters, yes, but trust matters more. When a game is close, coaches go with the players they trust to do their job, not just the most talented players. You can go watch high school, whether it's basketball, softball, baseball, football, soccer. There's a lot of times when the game's on the line in crunch time, there's certain athletes that want the ball in their hands. And then there's those athletes that they'll pass any chance they can get. When it comes crunch time, the coach is going to put the players in the game that they trust the most. Now, a lot of that times, some of your best players are those key players. There's no doubt about that. And sometimes those players are the kids that give you 110%. They're coachable. They'll dive on a floor for loose balls. They'll rebound the basketball. Or in football, they'll run hard. They'll do all the little things. I like to call that, as my guy Dick Vitale says, the Windex guy, the guy that can do everything. They can clean up on the glass. They'll dive on the floor for loose balls. They're not scared to get bumps, bruises. Those are the types of kids that coaches want to coach, and those are the types of players that coach will put in the games. So when the game is close, coaches are going to go with those players that they trust to do their jobs. From a parent's perspective, I'll say this. Now, parents, I'm going to talk directly to you here for about 30 seconds to a minute because this is the Coach on the Go show for tonight. Because I know you love your kids. You invest time, money. There's travel, right? You have all these AU, the travel teams where you pay $350, you pay $500, and then when it comes time for game, your kid may get in the game for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, say, well, coach, I paid to have my kid play. I paid $500 just like Joey did, or I paid $350 just like Chrissy did. And my kid's going to play 3 minutes of the game. And he comes in the last 3 minutes of the game when the game's out of hand. And when they sit the bench, it hurts, right? I get it. But here's the tough truth for parents. Sometimes the worst thing we can do is fight the battles for our kids. The kids need to learn to handle themselves. They need to see the coach not right after a game. No coach wants to be bothered, and I don't care what age group. I just coached the girls' 5th and 6th grade championship game a week ago, and it could have been a regular season game for us if a parent came up to me and I had a parents' meeting. You know what I said? Don't come up after me after a game. If you want to talk to me before practice or after a practice, I'm good with that. As a football coach, I always say, listen, on a Friday night, if you think I'm talking to a parent that's going to wait for me in the gym after we lost a game or even after we won a game, and they're going to say, coach, Jimmy didn't play. Why didn't my kid play? You only gave my kid 5 carries. That's the last thing I want to do. But as a coach, we have those situations, and we have to be able to communicate to the parents. We have to be open. We have to be honest. Can't play favorites, right? You hear that all the time. Coaches play favorites. I always say, yeah, you're damn right I play favorites. You know who my favorites are? All those kids that up above I just talked about, the kids that I can trust. I'd rather have a kid that gives you 110%, is going to play hard no matter what. He's a good role model. He's a leader on the court. He's a leader on the field, leader on the ice rink, wherever he is or she is. In the community, I want the people in the community to say, you know what, that kid's a good kid, great kid in school. Those are the kids that I wanted. Those are the kids that are going to play. I might have played kids like that over kids that were really good athletes. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, you got to really look at it and say, you know what? There comes that age where you have to make that decision as a coach, right? Because coaches are judged on wins and losses. I don't care what age group. They're judged on wins and losses. You could go 16-2 in a regular season. You get beaten in sectionals or you get beaten in a playoff game, and there's people up in the stands saying the coach stinks, get him out of here. I've known coaches, and I won't mention names on this podcast, that have won state championships, that have went to the Final Four in different sports. And every year, those coaches, people in the community, complain about the coach because they didn't play Joe enough. And maybe Joe was the board member's kid, or maybe it was another coach in the district's kid, and they're going to complain about that. So I get it. I've been there. We've all been there. Don't go up to a coach after a game. Have your son or daughter ask the coach and go up to the coach, say, listen, Rock, how come I'm not playing? How come I'm only playing 5 minutes? Timmy's playing 15. The coach is going to tell you, and the coach is going to probably tell you something you don't want to hear. He may say to you, you know what, Joe, you ain't good enough. You're not as good as Timmy is right now. Timmy's better than you. You need to work harder. Well, coach, but I went to all the summer league stuff. Timmy's still playing. It happens. There's some kids that are just natural athletes that they don't need to put in as much time as others do. I've seen that. We've all seen that. Some kids could put all the time in the world. They're going to work out in the summertime. They're going to work out in the off season, and come the season, they're still not playing as many minutes as Timmy is. Timmy's the good athlete, right? Got to earn that, but let the coach talk to your kids. Don't fight those battles for your kids. Let your kids fight those battles and talk to the coach first. On a coach right after the game, I said, it never ends well. Posting frustration things online. Social media wasn't around when I was younger. We didn't have it. And if we had it back in those days, oh boy, look out for the coaches I played for. People would have been crazy. They would have been bashing all the coaches I played for left and right because they were tough coaches. But nowadays, you got social media. We all got these things. We all got these phones. You go to a game, you go to practice, what are people doing? They're taking pictures. They're doing videos. They're Snapchatting. They're doing all these things. They put it all across social media. That's the worst thing you can do for your son or daughter is post that stuff on social media, because at the end of the day, who you hurting? You're hurting a kid. So stay off of that stuff. Don't post on social media. Talk to your coach. It always hurts your athlete more than it helps them. If there's a concern, I always say give it 24 hours. You get emotional. Maybe my son or daughter's not playing a lot. Don't let that get the best of you. Just wait a little bit. Take a deep breath. Wait 24 hours. Sleep on it. And then talk to the coach. Have a respectful conversation. And I'll tell you what. Ask one question. What does my child need to do to improve? And that question right there will change everything. And then the athlete, as far as accountability goes, now athletes, I'm talking to you here directly. I'm looking right into the camera and I'm pointing at you. And I promise you coaches notice everything. And I'm going to tell you the one thing that drives me nuts at all age levels. And I've noticed it with my son, my daughter who's in 4th grade. I've noticed it at all ages. Body language. Body language. If a coach is getting on a kid at any age, I look to watch, and I do this today when I sit in the stands at games. Coach calls a timeout in the huddle. I'm looking around and I'm saying, what's that guy doing? Why is that guy way over there and the team's over here? Or why is that girl got her head down? And that's what I look at as a coach. And coaches see that. So the body language is crucial. Things aren't going to go your way all the time as athletes. I've been there. I tell my son all the time, I've thrown interceptions, I've struck out, I've made errors, I've made all those mistakes. But you can't hang your head and you can't sit back on the bench hunched over because the coach sees your body language. The other one's effort. You can control the effort that you put in. Get on the floor for a loose ball. Soccer, hustle down and back. In sprints, I never wanted to lose a sprint. I never wanted to run or lose any competition in any practice or in a game. Never. I never wanted to be last. I always competed to win. And I'll never forget my dear friend, God rest his soul, Steve Baker, and I, in any sport. We used to go to the deaf school here in the summertime. And I used to hang out with all the Baker boys, and his dad would take us over to deaf school, and we would play pickup basketball games in the gym. I wish people saw those games, because you would think that was really like a fun time. It was a fun time. But I'm going to tell you what, man, we competed our butts off. We did not want to lose. Nobody did. If they could have put a camera in that gym to watch us play for whether it was an hour, hour and a half, we did not want to lose. We competed our butts off. And that's what we need more of. We need more kids competing at any age group. We're too soft. Compete. It's okay to fail. It's okay to miss the game-winning shot. It's okay to not score a touchdown. It's okay not to score a goal in soccer. It's okay not to score a goal in hockey or you miss a shot. Keep taking them. Keep shooting. That's the problem. We miss stuff. We lose a game. And I've been to numerous games in this area all over the Mohawk Valley, all over the country. Kids are down, the team's losing. What do? Body language. They're hanging their heads. They want to quit. Why? What are we teaching our kids by doing that? Because when you get to the workplace, things aren't always going to go your way. I've been fired from jobs. Things have went my way. Things haven't went my way, but you can't quit. And then the other thing I'll say to the kids is this. When you're on the bench and you're not in the game, are you cheering on your peers? You're cheering on your teammates. Or you're sitting there with your head down between your legs pouting saying, I should be in the game. Coach yelled at me. Why did he take me out for Jimmy? Because leadership shows when things are going your way. And everybody always says, I want to go play. I'm a basketball player. I want to go play at Duke. I'm a football guy. I'm going to go play at Ohio State. I'm going to go play at Michigan. Take a look at the numbers, people. Take a look at the stats. And I'm not making them up. Go look at them of how many kids from high school can get a chance to go play Division I sports, Division II sports, Division III sports. Take a look. Some of the best athletes in this area in the Mohawk Valley. Tell me how many of them are playing Division I sports. And I'm not knocking Division III sports. Division III is tough. If you're lucky enough to go play at a Division III school, good for you. Coaches watch all this. In recruiting, they'll come to, if you're a basketball kid and you play football, you want to get recruited for basketball, they're going to go watch you play football. They're going to see what you do, what type of teammate you are. So ask yourself this. Are you the hardest worker in practice? You coachable? Do your teammates trust you? Because here's the reality. Every successful adult has sat on the bench at some point in their life. They didn't get that promotion or they didn't get the job. They didn't get picked first. Sports teach you how to respond to adversity. And that lesson will last forever. So here's my closing message. And here's the bottom line. Playing time isn't fair, but growth always is. Parents, support your kids. Coaches, communicate expectations, because if you don't do that, you're failing the athletes. You're failing the youth of today's game if we don't be honest and communicate those expectations. Athletes, keep showing up, keep working hard, because sometimes the biggest lessons don't come from being the star athlete. They come from learning how to handle disappointment. And trust me, the kids who figure that out, they win long after the scoreboard turns off. So parents, one last thing, and I'll close with this. Don't ask your kid after the game how many points they scored. I want you to ask them the next time after a game and say, were you a great teammate today? And that answer is going to tell you everything you need to know about your son or your daughter in their playing time. I'll see you the next time here on the Rock Pile on the Go. Have a good evening, everybody.